Hi, I'm Deborah Sadler, and I'm the author of the trilogy Words of the Temple, A New Humanity, which is a positive cosmic perspective on what's been taking place on our planet in the last 5 or 6 years. And this video is for entertainment purposes only. I do use the work of Cryon, who is channeled by Lee Carroll. And Cryon has been channeling through Lee Carroll for the last 35 years. He is an entity from the other side of the veil. He tells us that the veil is thinning, which means that we are able to access information from the other side of the veil that we were never able to access before. And really, the whole trilogy that I wrote is based upon the precession of the equinoxes. And I'm just going to read from page 15 in book 1, Words of the Temple, Working Toward World Peace and New Humanity, to give you just a little bit of background. The precession of the equinoxes. The Mayan calendar is based upon the precession of the equinoxes, which it describes as the long count. This cycle ended on December 21st, 2012, and began a new cycle. For the Gregorian calendar, 2000 CE was predicted to be Armageddon, or the end of an eon. This is why there is so much disturbance in the field at this time on Earth. We are ending a 26,000-year cycle and beginning a new 26,000-year cycle. Each of us on the planet chose to be here at this time to assist with and participate in this cosmic shift. Formal religion that grew out of the Christian era and prevailed throughout the last 2,000 years is in transition as humanity shifts to a higher consciousness that recognizes the magnificence of every person and strives to create a world that works for everyone. In astrology, the symbol for the earth is a circle with a cross inside. This shape mimics the precession of the equinoxes through the 26,000-year cycle. And so I created, along with my publisher, Eric Grolu, this diagram which shows what I call a Platonic year, because Plato knew about this cycle. He knew about this 26,000-year cycle. And in the bottom, we have 13,000 years where we have been in the shadow. And we are right here, right now. We are right at the point called the precession of the equinoxes. And our galaxy goes across like this. This circle describes how our sun goes through all 12 signs of the zodiac. And it takes 26,000 years. And we are shifting from 13,000 years, actually a lot longer than that, in the shadow, and we are moving into the light. And Cryon tells us that on 12/21/2012, which is the middle of the precession of the equinoxes, a 36-year astronomical period where we shift from the shadow to the light. And so it started in 1994. It completes its cycle in 2030. So we have another 5 years to finish this cycle of moving into the light. And so there is what Cryon calls a dark light battle taking place on the planet. And he tells us that on 12/21/2012, which is the midpoint of this 36-year period, where we shift through what is really the width of the galaxy. And he shares with us that this is when the light-dark quotient on this planet shifted from favoring the dark, there being more dark on the planet, into a situation where the light is greater now. So there is greater light on the planet since 12/21/2012 than there is dark. And the dark has been in charge for eons, Cryon tells us. And so there is a battle taking place because it does not want to give up its prestige and its power. And it's doing whatever it can to hold on to its prestige and its power. But we're moving into the Aquarian age. Pluto moved into Aquarius. The whole planetary cycle is moving into that Aquarian energy where it is energy is for the power of the people. It is a humanitarian sign. We will be in this sign for the next 20 years for Pluto. And Pluto likes to blow things up and create a whole new way of doing things. And so we are in a power struggle that is taking place, and you can see it taking place in our politics. And Cryon tells us that the light is winning and that things are going to get so much better for us. And so we are a planet now in ascension. And throughout this trilogy, I explain, using the work of Cryon, what that actually means. And there is a system in our galaxy of planets moving into ascension one at a time. And we happen to be that planet. We're the planet, the only planet right now of free will in this galaxy. And so our star parents, who are the Pleiadians, and our star families are all rooting for us, and they celebrated when we passed that marker on 12/21/2012. And so there is great assistance for us going on outside in our galaxy, because once we pass that marker, Cryon tells us we will not blow ourselves up. We made it. And so the struggle that we're in right now between forces is the struggle that we're going to be in for a while as we raise our consciousness, become more loving, more kind, more caring, more compassionate, more passionate, and raise our consciousness to a higher level of love, to a higher frequency of compassionate action and loving kindness. And so it's up to each one of us to be that, because that's how we move into a greater expression of mastery. Cryon says we're leaving behind all of our karma. It does not belong in this new era of unity consciousness. So we are now in unity consciousness, but we have a battle going on because the old is just desperately fighting to hold on to its power. And so the more loving and kind and caring we are, the weaker that dark force becomes. And Cryon tells us that it's going to be 3 more generations where we have this dark energy on the planet. And it is not people who are the dark energy, but it is an energy that people resonate to. And he tells us that through the process of attrition, in the next 3 generations, people will, for the most part, be in the light. And so those who are holding on to the dark, advocating for the dark, doing whatever, they will be gradually, that energy will gradually be eliminated from our planet. It is going away. And so I want people to have hope. I want people to have faith that we are moving into a time of world peace. We are no longer in the cycle of history repeating itself. We're on a new track. And there is a great effort to derail our new track, but there is a lot of support in the unseen realm from angels, from Pleiadians, from star parents, from the Orions, the Arcturians, the Syrians. There is a much bigger picture going on. And this trilogy, using the work of Cryon, describes a lot of what is taking place. In addition to that, there are time capsules in our Earth that were placed by the star mothers from the Pleiades 200,000 years ago. And what does a time capsule mean? It means it opens when it's time. And Cryon has activated many of these through his work in the last 5 or 6 years. And so there are things in place to assist us in eliminating that old energy of war and those old memories, because as we move into unity consciousness, we move into the light. That is no longer relevant. And that's why we are not going to be bringing our old past lives into our new lives, because we're not bringing that old energy into this new unity consciousness that we're moving into. So I just want us to understand that we make a difference. We've been taught that all of our power, that we are powerless, and that people out in the world are the ones that have the power, and we have to rely on them. We don't need to rely on them. We really need to rely on our own consciousness and our own choices that we make. And if we're loving and we're kind, we stay out of judgment, we stay out of negativity, we help each other when we can help one another. We reach out, we're compassionate. And through this kind of activity, we raise the consciousness not only of ourselves, but of our planet. So I just wish everyone a wonderful week, knowing that there is a lot going on and that we really make a difference. And if you want to have world peace, then we need to be the peace that we want in the world. And that's the explanation for how we become an ascended planet. And Cryon says once we become an ascended planet, everything in the galaxy will change. So we are important. We are essential in this galaxy. You matter, I matter. And the energy that we create and put out makes a huge difference. So if you want world peace, just stay in the love and the light, and the peace and the grace, and the prosperity that comes along with it. Have a great week.